The day had been long at John Enterprises and the tension in the boardroom was thick. You sat with a stack of reports, flipping pages while John Jungkook, the CEO, leaned over the table. His sharp eyes scanned every detail of the proposal you had been preparing for weeks. You were the head of strategic development, a position that demanded perfection, and under him there was no room for error. Good work, Jungkook finally said, closing the file. But I think we need revisions on Section 3. Restructure the cost analysis by tonight if possible. You hesitated before speaking, your voice soft but steady. Sir, I actually wanted to ask if it's possible for me to leave early today. Jungkook raised an eyebrow, clearly surprised. Leave early? Is it important? I'm sorry, but the company needs you. There's a lot going on. You lowered your eyes, clutching your pen tightly. It is important. I have an appointment at the hospital, but don't worry. I'll try to come back as soon as possible. At the word hospital, his expression shifted. Concern flickered across his face, though he tried to keep his tone neutral. Hospital? Is everything okay? He forced a small smile and nodded quickly. Yes, just a quick checkup, nothing serious. He studied you for a long second, then softened. All right, take your time. I'm sorry for pressing. It's okay, he whispered, gathering your things. That afternoon, you walked out of the glass tower of John Enterprises with your oversized coat wrapped tightly around you, hiding the gentle curve of your baby bump. No one in the company knew. You had kept it a secret for months, especially from Jungkook. Meanwhile, Jungkook received a call from his brother-in-law. His sister was in the hospital with complications, and without a second thought, he rushed there. Hours later, after ensuring she was safe, walked through the hospital corridors and froze. There you were, sitting alone on a bench, staring at the floor with sadness clouding your eyes. And then he saw it, the swell beneath your coat, the baby bump you had hidden all along. His heart dropped. For months, he had quietly admired you, keeping his feelings buried under professionalism. He never confessed, but he never imagined you belonged to someone else, let alone with carrying another man's child. He was about to leave to walk away before you saw him, but then he noticed you at the receptionist desk. Please swipe it again. Your voice trembled as you clutched the edge of the counter. The receptionist frowned, her eyes flicking to the machine. Ma'am, the card declined again. Panic welled in your chest like a rising tide. This checkup was important. You couldn't just walk away. There must be a mistake, you whispered, forcing a shaky smile. Could you could you swap it again, please? The receptionist hesitated but nodded. She slid the card once more and the red light blinked stubbornly. It's still not going through, she said softly. Your hands shook as you pressed them flat against the counter, as if grounding yourself. No, there should be something in there. Maybe the bank held it, or maybe it just needs a little time. Please try again. The receptionist's expression softened. She lowered her voice so the others in the waiting area wouldn't overhear. I wish I could help, ma'am, but I already checked twice. The balance isn't enough to cover the checkup. Your throat tightened and you bit your lower lip until it hurt. But I really need this. I thought there was enough left. Your voice cracked, tears threatening to spill. Please, I can pay you back later. I swear I will. Receptionist's gaze flickered with sympathy. She sighed, shaking her head gently. I'm truly sorry. Hospital policy doesn't allow delayed payments. If it were up to me, I would let it pass. Your chest ached as if the weight of the world was pressing against it. It's not for me. You whispered, almost begging. It's important, please. There has to be a way. Her tone dropped to a whisper, her eyes full of pity. If I could, I would. But without enough balance, I can't process this. I'm sorry. Then suddenly another card slid across the counter. Take this, a deep voice said. You turned and your heart nearly stopped. Mr. John? Jungkook stood there, his expression unreadable. The receptionist looked between you two. Oh, for the first time in 5 months, I've seen someone with you. Is he the father? You quickly shook your head. No, he's not. But Jungkook only nodded, covering for you. Just process it. The receptionist smiled, swiped, and the payment went through. You looked at him ashamed. I'll return the money, sir. No need. He said softly. You should have told me. I know it's your personal life, but I keep my personal and professional life separate. You cut in quickly. Before he could reply, your name was called. In a rush, you grabbed your file and hurried inside, forgetting your purse on the bench. Jungkook noticed, intending to place it safely aside, but when he bent down, the zipper slid open and papers fell, among them a photograph. His hands froze. It was his older brother's face staring back at him. The brother who had been disowned years ago. The brother who left scars in Jungkook's heart. His breath caught in his throat. Why was his picture in your purse? When you came back out, tired yet surprised to see him still waiting, he handed you your purse back, but his voice was sharp. Why do you have this picture? How do you know him? Your throat went dry. You had dreaded this day. I met him years ago. You whispered. Jungkook's jaw clenched. Since when? Tell me, is he with you now? You shook your head, and under the sterile white lights of the hospital, you finally broke down. He betrayed me. I loved him. I thought he loved me too, but one day he disappeared, and now your hand instinctively touched your belly. Now I'm carrying his child. Jungkook staggered back, his heart shattering. His older brother, the man who ruined everything, and now you. The silence between you and Jungkook in the hospital corridor was suffocating. His usually composed face was rigid, his eyes searching yours for answer he didn't want to hear. You are telling me? He finally spoke, his voice low and trembling with suppressed anger. Brother did this to you? He left you like this. You swallowed hard, clutching your purse tightly. I didn't know he was your brother when we met. Not until I joined John Enterprises. By then, it was too late. Jungkook's chest rose and fell sharply. Memories of his older brother flooded his mind, of the chaos, betrayal, and pain he had caused the John family. It had been over a decade since they cut ties with him. Jungkook thought he would bear it the trauma, but now here it was again, alive and bleeding through you. Why didn't you tell me sooner? His voice cracked, half desperate, half furious. Tears stung your eyes. Because what difference would it make? He's gone. He disappeared one night and never came back. I tried finding him. I begged. I searched. But nothing. And now I have this baby to think about. My baby. The words my baby echoed in Jungkook's mind like thunder. He looked at your small frame, the way you cradled your stomach instinctively. Something inside him twisted painfully. He wanted to comfort you, but the name of his brother poisoned his thoughts. The two of you walked outside under the dull glow of the street lights. Jungkook shoved his hands into his coat pockets, his jaw tense. You don't know the kind of man my brother is. He finally said, his voice bitter. He hurt everyone who loved him. He destroyed our family. He destroyed me. Your steps faltered. You had only seen glimpses of the John family's pain through whispers, but hearing Jungkook's voice break like that made your chest ache. I know, you whispered. I realized too late. I was blinded. I thought he was everything I needed. I was stupid. He turned to you sharply. Don't call yourself stupid. You trusted the wrong person. That's not stupidity, that's betrayal. Your eyes welled up. But now I'm the one paying the price. Every month I walk into this hospital alone, terrified, wondering how I'll raise this child. The vulnerability in your voice pierced him. For a moment, Jungkook just stared at you, at the strength it must have taken to carry this burden alone, at the sadness that never left your eyes. Something inside him shifted. He exhaled heavily and stepped closer. You shouldn't be going through this alone. You blinked at him, stunned. What do you mean? I can't erase what he did, but I can be here now. His gaze softened, but there was steel in his tone. Let me help you, not as your boss, as someone who cares. Your lips parted in shock. Mr. John, you don't have to. I want to. He cut in firmly. I can't stand by knowing you are carrying his child, struggling while he ran away. The sincerity in his words wrapped around your heart like a fragile thread. You had seen Jungkook as the cold, demanding CEO, but now you saw the man beneath, the man who hurt, the man who cared. Still, fear lingered in your chest. What will your family say? This child, it's his blood. Jungkook's jaw tightened, but his eyes burned with resolve. All the more reason. This child deserves to be accepted, not hidden. My family may have disowned him, but that doesn't mean they'll reject his innocent child. That night, as he dropped you at your apartment, he paused before you stepped out. I need you to promise me something. Jungkook said quietly. You turned. What? Don't push me away. I'm not him. I won't run. Your heart thudded painfully in your chest. For the first time in months, you felt safe. You nodded, your voice barely a whisper. Okay. As you closed the door, Jungkook leaned back in his car seat, staring at the steering wheel, his fist clenched. It wasn't just about helping you anymore. It was about rewriting the story his brother had ruined. And maybe, just maybe, it was about love. The next morning, you walked into John Enterprises with your oversized coat pulled tightly around you, as always, but your mind was still on the last night, on Jungkook's words, I won't run. You had been used to doing everything alone, so the idea of someone staying by your side felt dangerous, fragile, too good to believe. At your desk, the pile of reports waiting for review nearly made you dizzy. You pressed a hand to your lower stomach, willing away the nausea. Then his voice came. Are you okay? You looked up. Jungkook stood at the doorway of your office, holding 2 cups of warm ginger tea. He placed one gently on your desk. Your lips parted. You didn't have to. I wanted to. He interrupted softly. It helps with nausea, doesn't it? Your throat tightened. You looked it up. His gaze didn't waver. I'll do whatever I need to make sure you and the baby are all right. No one had ever said words like that to you. Your vision blurred, and you quickly sipped the tea to hide the tears forming. 2 weeks later, you had another prenatal appointment. You sat nervously in the waiting room, flipping through your file when a familiar presence sank into the chair beside you. Sir, you whispered, startled. Jungkook. He corrected gently, at least outside the office. But why are you here? His tone was calm but resolute. Because you shouldn't go through this alone, not anymore. When the doctor called your name, he rose with you. You panicked, whispering, You don't have to come in. He gave you a look. I'm not leaving. Inside, as the doctor explained the baby's growth, Jungkook listened intently, asking questions you were too shy to voice. When the ultrasound began, you gripped the edge of the bed nervously, and then the tiny heartbeat filled the room. Froze, tears spilled before you could stop them. You had heard it before, but this time someone was beside you. Jungkook's hand tightened around the railing, his Adam's apple bobbing. He looked at the monitor, at the little flicker of life, and whispered under his breath, almost to himself, "So small, so innocent." When the doctor left you both alone for a moment, you turned to him, your voice trembling. "Why are you doing this for me, Jungkook? This isn't your responsibility." He met your eyes with a quiet intensity. "Because someone should have been here, and if it can't be him, then it will be me." Your tears wouldn't stop. For the first time, you reached for his hand and he let you. One evening, Jungkook returned home late, exhaustion heavy on his face. His sister Jiwoo noticed immediately. "You have been distracted lately," she said, crossing her arms, leaving work at odd hours, smiling at your phone. "What's going on?" Jungkook hesitated, but his silence was enough. His sister's eyes widened. "You are seeing someone?" His lips pressed into a thin line. "Not in the way you think." Jiwoo stepped closer, her voice softer now. "Then what is it?" Jungkook's eyes clouded with emotion. "It's about him, Hyung." The name itself made Jiwoo stiffen. They hadn't spoken of their older brother in years. He left someone behind, someone who trusted him, someone who's carrying his child. Jiwoo gasped, covering her mouth. "What?" Jungkook looked away, the image of you in the hospital haunting him. "I can't let her suffer because of him. I won't." Jiwoo's eyes filled with tears. "Jungkook." She reached for his hand. "Then bring her here. Bring her into the family. If she's carrying his child, she's carrying our blood too." That night, Jungkook walked you home after another late shift. You stopped outside your small apartment, hugging your coat around yourself. "Thank you for walking me." You whispered. "You don't need to thank me," he said gently. "I'll always make sure you are safe." You looked up at him, the weight of everything pressing down on your chest. "Why do you care so much? Why me?" He hesitated, then spoke the truth. "Because I like you." Breath hitched, he continued, his voice trembling but firm. "I like you long before I knew about the baby, before I knew about him. I tried to bury it, to stay professional, but seeing you suffer alone, it broke something in me. I can't pretend anymore." Tears spilled down your cheeks. "Jungkook, this isn't fair to you. This child, he's not yours." "I don't care," he said fiercely. "Blood doesn't make a father, presence does. And I promise you I won't run. Not like him." Your sobs broke free then, years of pain spilling into the night. Jungkook stepped forward, carefully pulling you into his arms, holding you like you were the most fragile thing in the world, and for the first time in months, you let yourself lean on someone. It had been a week since Jungkook confessed his feelings, and though your heart was still tangled in fear and uncertainty, his presence had become a constant comfort. One evening, as you were leaving the office, Jungkook walked beside you in silence. His hands were shoved in his coat pockets, his brows furrowed. Finally, he said it. "I want you to come home with me." You froze. "Home? To meet my family." His tone was steady, but his eyes betrayed nerves. "They deserve to know, and so do you. You are carrying their blood." Your heart pounded. "Jungkook, no. What if they hate me? What if—" He stopped walking and faced you, his voice firm. "They won't. Not when I'm standing with you." You looked into his eyes, saw the unwavering promise there, and something in you softened. For once you wanted to believe him. The John mansion loomed before you, intimidating and grand. You clutched your coat tighter around your body, hiding the small swell of your belly. Jungkook's hand brushed against yours gently, not holding but close enough to let you feel his warmth. Inside, Jiwoo greeted you first. She had already guessed the truth from Jungkook, but seeing you in person made her chest tighten. She pulled you into a hug, surprising you. You are not alone anymore, Jiwoo whispered. Tears stung your eyes. You hadn't expected kindness, but the real storm awaited. In the living room sat Mr. John, Jungkook's father, a stern, proud man whose voice could shake entire boardrooms. He looked up as you entered, his sharp eyes narrowing. "Who is this?" he asked coldly. Jungkook straightened. "Father, this is the woman I care about, love, and she's pregnant." The words felt like a bomb. Silence. Then Mr. John's fist slammed against the armrest. "Pregnant?" His voice thundered. "Jungkook, have you lost your mind?" Before Jungkook could reply, you found your voice, trembling but brave. "It's not his child." The room froze. Jiwoo gasped. Mr. John's brows furrowed deeply. "Then whose?" Jungkook's voice was hoarse, but he forced the words out. "Hyung's." The name struck the air like lightning. Everyone went pale. Mr. John stood slowly, his face twisting with rage and grief. "Don't you dare mention that man's name in this house again." You flinched at his tone, but Jungkook stepped protectively in front of you. "She deserved to be heard. That child is his blood, your blood, whether you like it or not." From the corner, Mrs. John, who had been silent, finally rose. Her hands trembled as she looked at you, then at your stomach. "That child," she whispered, her voice breaking, "is my grandchild." Your lips parted, but you couldn't speak. Tears spilled down your cheeks, and you nodded faintly. Mrs. John covered her mouth, sobs escaping her. "All these years I prayed for him. Even after he left, even after what he did, he was still my son, and now he left you like this." Her shoulders shook violently. She stepped toward you, reaching for your hand. "My poor child, you must have suffered so much alone." Your heart cracked. You had expected anger, rejection, but instead she pulled you into her arms, crying with you as though she could wash away months of your loneliness. Mr. John looked away, his jaw clenched so hard it trembled. "I cannot forgive him, not for what he did to this family, not for abandoning his blood." "Then don't forgive him," Jungkook said firmly. He stood tall, his voice steady despite the storm in his eyes. "Forgive her. Forgive the child. They didn't ask for this. They deserve love, not punishment for his sins." Silence stretched. Mr. John's eyes flickered between you, Jungkook, and your trembling hands over your stomach. Finally, his shoulders slumped. He looked years older in that moment. I can't reject my own blood again." His voice cracked, the weight of old wounds heavy. "The child stays, and if you are by Jungkook's side, then so do you." That night, as you left the mansion, your chest felt lighter for the first time in months. You weren't alone anymore. In the car, you sat in silence, tears slipping down your cheeks. "Hey." Jungkook's voice was soft. He reached over, brushing a tear away with his thumb. "You were so brave tonight." You shook your head. "I was terrified, but your mother, your sister, even your father, they'll come around fully," Jungkook said, his voice warm with certainty. "They just needed to see you, to see the truth." You looked at him, your voice breaking. "Why are you doing all this for me?" He smiled faintly, though his eyes glistened. "Because I already told you I won't run, and because I love you." Your heart stopped. The confession hung in the air, raw and real. And for the first time you let yourself whisper back, trembling but true, "I love you too." A faint smile appeared on his face. He took out something from his jacket pocket. "You are my first love, my last love, and the only one I'll ever love. I promise I'll protect you, cherish you, and never let fear or pride steal you from me again." And with that he slid a simple band onto your finger, not as a symbol of possession, but as a promise of eternity. You covered your mouth, overwhelmed, tears spilling freely, but this time they were happy tears. You threw your arms around him, whispering against his lips, "And I promise I'll never stop choosing you." And as he kissed you, slow and gentle, it wasn't just love, it was acceptance. He wasn't only choosing you, he was choosing the child growing inside you, even though it belonged to the brother who had abandoned you both. In that moment, the weight you carried alone for so long finally lifted. A love that could have shattered under the truth instead became stronger, unbreakable, and eternal.